This is about a 4-acre field behind me. I've got the birds in the tunnel here, the mobile and gobbledygook parked up there. But my goal for the spring is to plant tree lanes into this field, and here in Ireland it's really difficult to get good topographic maps. The standard maps available are 10-metre intervals, so they basically give you no idea for how the lay of the land is. I looked at a few options. I tried to use terrain in Google Maps and tried to load that into some 3D modelling software, but it just wasn't accurate enough. Those estimations made there that made the topographic maps generated just not accurate enough for me. So I looked at a few options, and I've got my drone here ready to go. So I found some good quality software, drone deploy for my drone. So I've programmed in the area I want to map. I'm going to send the drone up now. It's going to fly around and take loads and loads of photographs, as well as geo positions. So it's going to figure out how far it is off the ground, record all that data. Then I load that up into this 3D modeling software, and that'll generate a 3D model of the whole farm. And from that I can extract elevations, and then I will dump that into a AutoCAD file, and then I can convert that into a topographic map of the farm, and I can select what intervals I want. I can go at 300 mil, 600 mil intervals like that there. So that's going to give me a real good idea of how the lay of the land, and then I'm going to use that information then to plot out how I want to plant my tree lanes, working with the land effectively. We're going to use a keyline pattern, and hopefully we're going to figure out what way we're going to plant our trees, and then in about 2 weeks time I'm going to pick up an absolute bunch of trees. We've got about over 1,000 trees coming, fruit trees, trees for windbreaks and everything, so I'm busy getting all this started. Okay, so we take the photos from the drone and we load it into some software. So I'm using drone deploy software. I find it pretty good, and I basically upload all the images the drone took. We just mapped out where we want the drone to fly, the overall area of the farm. It figures out what it's got to do, it just goes off, flies around the farm in a grid pattern, and it comes back, and I load up the photos, and then it gives me this image. So this is the farm, and it puts together, stitches all together the photos to give this image, and all the data is in here, the relevant height data, which I'm really looking for. So we're really looking to work on this field here. So we've got our polytunnel, there's our eggmobile, our gobbledygook, and it's actually pretty cool because it's generated a 3D model as well of the farm, which takes a minute to load, but this is effectively a 3D model. We can move around forward and back. I didn't go for the highest definition, so the model's a bit sketchy, but I'm not all that interested in that. What we've got to do is take the details from this map, we've got to export them, and we're going to be, in particular, we're going to be looking at the elevation. That's going to take all the heights. We're going to dump that into an AutoCAD software, which is going to make our contours for us. We dump that file into AutoCAD, it gives us something like this, and this is a terrain map. So you can see there's a ridge coming through here, then there's a river running through this bottom of the farm, so it slopes off steep down there, and the general fall here of the backfield, which we're most interested for the fruit trees. There's a general gradual fall down this way, and this is north to south, so it's pretty much north to south. You can see this line here is the ditch between the backfield and the front field. And what we're interested, so this is effectively a topographic map at 600 mil or 2 foot intervals, and it's got the detail I want now to figure out at what pattern I'm going to plant my trees. And looking at this, I'm going to want to try and get the water moving out towards this ridge. So I'm going to be going slightly off these contours, but carrying down to get the water out. So if we flip across here, I've already prepared what it will look like with contours on it. So here I've marked out in the blue line the boundary of the backfield that I'm working with. The green line represents leaving enough room to turn at the end of the lanes with the eggmobiles, and these red lines are where I'm proposing to put my tree lanes. And as you can see, they move slowly. If this down the contours, they're dropping about half a metre over 150 metres, and that there is just hopefully slowly going to bring the water out towards this ridge and keep it on the farm for a bit longer in dry weather and get it moving more in wet weather. Now I've just extended these lines on to see what it would look like if I was to put trees in the front field here, but more than likely this is where I'm going to stop with my tree lanes. And because I'm in AutoCAD now, I can get accurate details on how long these lanes are, so that'll help me generate my bill of materials, how many trees I need, and so forth. So technology is really handy for the farm. I can do all this by doing very little, and it basically gives me all the data I need. As I said before, topographic maps in Ireland are generally extremely poor. They're on 10-metre intervals, so it doesn't give us enough detail at all. And using just a relatively inexpensive drone, not thousands of euros anyway, you can make your own topographic map of your farm and use all this data to help you plan out your farm. So I'm going to get busy now figuring out where how many trees I need, and then we're going to mirror this out on the field and actually plant our trees in this pattern.